We have stuff. Coon dog problems. I'm in low range. This one got a new dirt bike, or a used dirt bike. What do you think about it, Nova? Do you like it? Chain comes off, wads up. It's just cast aluminum. Snap. But that's gonna suck. It's been alive since 1975. Almost as old as I am, and in way better shape. We also need to stick the pick under our fingernail, because you're not working until you stick something under your fingernail. I think I'm done twirling this. Just put it on the bike. Well, we're back here with this little Honda Elsinore MR50 project that we started in the last episode. If you didn't catch that episode, go back and check it out. It'll catch you up a lot on where we are now and where we're going. Quick recap. This is a 1975 Honda Elsinore MR50 Baby Elsinore aimed at the junior MXer market. 2-year only bike, only 1 year in this color. So it's a pretty rare bike. And like I said in the last episode, a very young me found this under his Christmas tree in about probably 1978, 79, something like that. I don't know, somewhere along in there. I don't remember exactly. I was a kid. We took the cylinder head off and we were trying to find some place to get this thing bored. We had a lot of trouble finding a shop that could do it. As small as the bore was, nobody had tooling set up that small. Everybody was 80 cc's and over, but I think we've got a shop. I think we're gonna have it done. Hopefully the parts will be back before this episode is over, but I can't guarantee it. If I don't have the jug and the tank, oh yeah, the tank's out too. The tank's out at the paint shop. He should be moving along with it by now. If we don't have the tank and jug back, then this episode will be everything else on the bike, and I've got some parts to show you that came in from ReMX, because everybody likes parts, right? It doesn't need a whole lot, but there's a lot of little bitty things that I want to take care of on it and make it look just a little bit better. Let me run to the table over here. Let's show you what we've got, and let's get involved in some beautification on this little guy. Well, this is the parts haul, starting with stickers. I got a replacement tank decal. It goes right on the tank, reminding you that you should wear your helmet. Wear your helmet, kids. Wear your helmet. Got a couple of wing decals that go on the side of the tank. Need to make sure we take those over there before he gets to the clear coat stage, because I want to put the decals on before he clear coats them. So I'll have those over there probably in the morning. That way the decals will be all embedded in the clear and we'll have to worry about them coming off or chipping or cracking or anything, and it'll look good for life, but hopefully. What else do we have here? We got a top end kit, which basically is the exhaust crush washer, a head gasket, a carburetor gasket, and a base gasket. We have the small end bearing for the rod, OE Honda, a new wrist pin for the piston, a couple of new circlips to hold the wrist pin in. I got a couple of these little like fuel drain, or what are they called? Fuel hose clamps or whatever to look a little bit more OE. Replacement kickstart rubber, because the one we have is worn pretty much completely smooth. Replacement oil cap, because it looks like someone at some point may have used a pair of pliers to try and get that off. Who would have done that? Got an inline fuel filter, a couple of new pins for the foot pegs, some acorn style nuts. Those go on the shock here, top and bottom. They're not supposed to be black, I don't think. This side just completely has the wrong nuts completely, so that'll replace that. Clutch and brake lever, made in Taiwan, because like all these bikes, the ends are always broken off from the bike being dropped. This one's broken way off, basically completely missing. And a set of replacement handlebar grips, because only 50% of ours are present, this 50%. And the 50% that we have is pretty much worn down to nothing. This side doesn't even have anything. And finally, a replacement seat cover that pretty well matches the OE cover. So where should we start in the beautification? I'm thinking we start on the back end and work our way forward, because I really want to see that replacement seat cover on there. It's just, it really makes the machine. So let's get set up. We'll get that we'll get the back seat off of it. We'll leave the front seat though. And I'll probably go ahead and pull the side plate, and I may pull the fenders too, just to kind of, you know, wash them and clean them up, kind of break all the plastics off the bike so we can give it a proper wash. As far as the frame and stuff, I had repainted the frame years ago with a product called Chassis Black, which is kind of that correct semi-gloss, low gloss black. So I'm not too worried about that. We'll do that, then we'll go ahead and move forward and do the rest of the little things and clean up some stuff as we go. So let's get rolling. Well, the seat comes off by loosening these nuts here, these acorn style nuts, and then we just basically push the seat backward to pop it off. This has those little things on the back, and on the front it just has a little lip there that catches, that hooks. Pretty good shape on the bottom though. Probably just a little bit of a cleanup and we'll send it. Well, let's start with trying to get this this other cover off the seat. You may or may not be able to see it, but there are these little triangular shaped hooks right there. They're like sharpened hooks that the cover basically goes down and hooks onto. So it's pretty easy to get it loose. Since this is a steel pan, there are no staples in it. So we can just work around it and try and pop it loose. I'm just using the screwdriver to press down and just kind of unhook it. There we go. And I think I'm going to go ahead and grab a 10mm and take this rear latch assembly off. It'll really help me work down in here a little bit better. Okay. Cover's off. The foam is in okay shape. It's definitely good enough to use for what we're doing. Well, this has been an excellent time to wipe down our work area so as not to get our fresh new parts gross. There, it's only sort of dirty now. Okay. We're just gonna first just sort of slip it on here and see what we've got. Oh wait, I said I was going to take those off. I wasn't kidding. There. Move that out of the way. There's also this almost like welting around the seat pan. I don't know how much of this we'll be able to retain. We'll try. The seat has got some dings and some bends going on. Looks like most of it has happened back here. So it could be that we just use our pliers and just sort of straighten everything back up, do some body work. It's never going to be perfect, but maybe it'll at least hold the welting. I think all this is for really is to keep the seat cover from being cut by the sharp corners here. Now, back to this. Want to make sure that we get it on there straight. That's going to be one of the big things. It's looking pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with trying to hook it. That's the first hook. And the idea is going to be to push down on the seat and stretch it. Push it under the little thing and then let it back up. That's going to be generally what we're working toward here. What I'm doing is I'm overstretching it. So I'm taking the seat and I'm pushing down on the table, and that gives me a lot of slack in the fabric. Then I'm stretching it and hooking it underneath these little things, and when I let go, it relaxes back, and hopefully I'll have a pretty tight cover when it's all said and done. We'll see. Well, there's the finished product. That's what it came out like. Pretty well centered up. Everything under here worked out like it was supposed to. That's that. Out of the way. Let's go ahead and get this side plate off, and then let's work on getting the rear fender off of it, just so we can really give it a good clean. Looks like the rear fender just pushes in on the side and pops loose. This is probably the point in the game where we break it irreplaceably. This is the least amount of fun I've ever had. This. Oh, there we go. Maybe one side and then the other. There's the rear fender. For the forward controls, these clamps are supposed to be black, so I think I'm going to go ahead and take the forward controls completely off of it, repaint these, and then we might try to clean up these handlebars a little bit, see if we can make those look any better at all. So for the clutch cable, you have to just kind of adjust the clutch all the way out, and then you can do this part. There's that one. Next, we'll jump over to the front brake, do the same thing. Hopefully, the front brake is adjusted enough that I can just pull it off like that, and I can. Loosen it some. And then we also need to take care of the throttle. It needs to come off of there as well. Throttle we're going to have to do a little bit more to. It's not exactly peachy. There's that one. All right, I guess while we're doing stuff, we should go ahead and pull the throttle out of here and paint it as well, since we're going to be painting stuff and shining up stuff, right? This is a repair sleeve that I put on here years ago, and basically when your adjuster is broken and no longer works, this little repair sleeve will get you done. See how it's broken out of there? ReMX sells that as well. They sell a bunch of neat little parts for this bike. For this part of the forward controls, we'll just pull all of the bolts and screws out of it and go ahead and get some paint on them. It's gonna have to be about a 10 millimeter. Well, the whole dissimilar metals thing has happened, and this this screw right here has kind of seized itself into the clutch lever there, or brake lever, or whichever one it is. You can see how when I turn it, it doesn't want to let go. We'll take all these pieces, I'll give them a quick rinse off in the sink, scrub them up real good, and then we'll find a place to hang them and paint them. While that's going on, we'll go ahead and take care of kind of cleaning those handlebars up, trying to polish them up, make them look a little bit better. We might even put some of this hardware on the steel, on the wire wheel, try to, you know, spruce it up a bit too. Here we have some Duplicolor, I think it's gloss black or semi-gloss black engine enamel. I'll say I think it's semi-gloss black because it didn't have a top on it, and I don't know. So let's shoot these a little bit. Let's see what it looks like. Well, I don't know. I think semi-gloss or low gloss, which really doesn't look bad at all. I think we'll roll with it. I'm also going to pull these handlebars off and see if I can get them to clean up a little bit, and maybe see about polishing this hardware a little bit. Just giving it a clean up is all. Not a show bike, but decent. Cool. There, handlebars. No magic on these. I'm just gonna basically scrub them down with probably a Scotch-Brite pad and some soap and water, so pretty boring stuff. All the handlebars have been kind of wiped down and Scotch-Brited. The rust pitting is not gonna go anywhere, but at least we, you know, at least they're cleaned up some. There, handlebars, nice. For our forward controls, got our hardware kind of polished up a little bit better. I'll hold off a minute on completely tightening these until I know exactly where I want them. We'll go ahead and put the handlebar grip on this side, just so we, let's see, that's probably for the gas, just so we will know where it ends, you know, exactly how far to bring this out. And with that, we'll also bring this. Alright, so the idea would be to set this so that it is comfortable. Should just be a matter of hooking up our clutch again. There. Very much better. I thought I was recording that whole segment, but there's the driver's side done. Brakes hooked up, all that. You'll see this little bit of junk protruding out of here. Yuck. That's the 3M rubber adhesive. This right here was way too loose. I mean, it would just slide on there and twist. So little adhesive, hopefully that'll fix that right up. This side done up, stick the number plate back on it. I kind of just wiped it down a little bit under here. This number plate just stretches or goes on the front there, and it has this kind of O-ring thing that stretches around it to hold it in place. Really tough to hang on to that O-ring around behind all this stuff. There. This thing unclips like this, and front brake cable goes in it. This may be how it's supposed to be. I don't know. I'll just, like I said, I'll look at some pictures and see. But basically, that's looking pretty good right there. Turn our attention toward that exhaust laying up there in my toolbox. give it a spruce up, and then put it back on the bike. Just gonna give it a Craigslist rebuild real quick. Honda Chrisman spark arrestor, model 112. Cool. We all know that this pipe is not going to stay like it is. I don't care what kind of paint I use on it. It's going to look rough. There. Let that cure up a minute. Well, I'll turn my attention toward the kickstand now and replacing this rubber. I guess the best thing to do is just take a razor blade and cut it off, pound the new one on there. But it was also really loose. This whole thing here, it wouldn't stay where you put it. So what I did was I took a lock washer and I just kind of ground it out a little bit, like an opening a little bit bigger, opened those springs up and drove it in there. As long as it stays, it's working really well, actually. Okay. Let's see about cutting this thing off of here. That looks terrible. Now I wonder if we're going to have to put some dish detergent on this, or if it's just going to work for us. Dish detergent. Be right back. Just a little bit of Dawn dish detergent on there. That usually helps it slide. Cool thing about the dish detergent is it will dissipate and leave this thing stuck like glue. Excellent. All right, to the bike. Exhaust. Notice I painted the little tailpipe glossy black. Trying to trick it out just a little bit. I took these bolts and gave them a little bit of a shine up on the wire wheel, just so they kind of match, you know. I need a much bigger screwdriver for this. Hopefully this will work. Yes, yes it will. All right, let's see about this this heat shield for the head pipe. Well, here's this, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, it's still wet. So what are we going to do? We're going to try not to touch it and end up touching it, probably. There. How about that? Right there. Notice I painted it gloss black too. Jury's out on whether or not I'm going to like this. But, I don't know, maybe. Never even touched it. Of course, it's not done. I need more screws. Let me find more screws. That's the completed exhaust, or as completed as we're going to make it. It's not perfect. It's got some rust pitting and stuff like that, but it's original to the bike. It's been alive since 1975, almost as old as I am, and in way better shape. Well, let's fight with this exhaust. See if we can get it back on there. Puzzle. Should be puzzle. That's completely out of better. Much better. I'm just going to kind of dangle it with this bolt again because it's nowhere near time to worry about putting the exhaust in it. I just want it to stay up there. That's all. Got it. Now's a good time to work out these acorn nuts. They're not exactly, let me show you. They're not exactly like the original ones, but they're pretty close. They're just a little meatier, but I'd say they're close enough. Since I'm missing two, they're way closer than what I had on it. And I think these are supposed to be chrome. I need to look at some pictures to see, but I think they are. So let's see. I think now might be a good time to go ahead and put the seat back on it while we can still get to it to work it. So let me pull this back off and grab the seat to do that. Perfect. Well, it takes care of the shocks and the new hardware. Well, I guess we can go ahead and do the dipstick, right? Now's a good time to check the oil, isn't it? It's way up there. Let's check it with the Honda dipstick, the OE one. Yeah, it's not even showing on the stick. That's interesting. Well, let's get some oil. Diesel oil, same as Rotella, 1540. We also need to rob the O-ring off of the old one. We also need to stick the pick under our fingernail, because you're not working until you stick something under your fingernail. Yeah. Cleaning right up, isn't it? Well, I just saw the postman just leave my house. That means there's parts for the dirt bike. Let's take a ride down there and grab those. The dog hates it when I ride the four-wheeler. I don't know why. See what I mean? Crazy. I'm in low range. We have stuff. I keep wanting to go to the next gear. Look what came. A pair of foot pegs. Old ones, originals. With 2 springs and 2 more of those pins. Perusing out on the eBays. Found these for like, I don't remember what I paid for them now. It was like 10 or 12 bucks, something like that. I only need one because I know the bike had, I know it had the other one about 10 years ago, and I do remember taking it off, but I don't remember what I did with it. So I did a quick paint job on this one. We're about to stick that on there. I think that's the last thing the bike's actually missing, like it doesn't have. I think besides this, oh, no, I do have one other thing I'm missing too. Hey dog, I'm trying to film here, don't you know? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Hey, I'm talking to you. What you barking for? Coon dog life. I'm missing that, the sprocket cover. That sucker is broke on every single one of them, all of them. Chain comes off, wads up, it's just cast aluminum, snap. ReMX makes a replacement one, and I'm gonna have to buy it. I guess I don't have any choice but to buy it, because it is I think the legitimate last piece the bike's missing. Yeah, I guess I'll go on and get it bought, get it done. Hold my breath, take the medicine right. All right, I think I'm done twirling this. Let's put it on the bike. This one got a new dirt bike, or a used dirt bike. What do you think about it, Nova? Do you like it? Muddy paws, been in the pond again? Yes, yeah. Hers has a manual clutch. So manual clutch and gears, we're learning that. That's an interesting thing. But she's getting pretty good at it. I'd say she's getting real good at it, in fact. Well, I think that we're about at the end of what we can do until we get either a tank or a cylinder jug back. But check out what I've been working on since I've been waiting for parts to come back. I got kind of nerdy. I know, right? I'm not sure if those logos are like period correct, but they're NOS logos, they're not reman. Had this can been sitting around. Actually, it's been sitting in the back of that Datsun truck for quite some time. So I thought I would take a minute and, you know, spruce it up and give it a paint job, clean it up, put some decals on both sides. And maybe that says Agate Sheet Metal Products, Chicago. Pretty cool. Found these stickers online on the interwebs. eBay actually bought those from a seller. So I thought our little dirt bike would be kind of cool, sitting in the back of this truck, having our fuel can sitting there full of our two-stroke premix, full of our two-stroke premix. There, easy for you to say. Also, I'm curious about what you guys had as dirt bikes or quads or whatever as your first machine when you were a kid. I mean, did any of you guys have dirt bikes, you know, as children, as young children? Drop me a line down in the comments. I would love to know what you guys had out there. Well, it's been about a week since I dropped off all that stuff to all the respective places, the head and the tank, and we still don't have any parts back. And I went through and did some editing on the video and realized that we're quite a ways in. I mean, we got quite a bit of time wrapped up already. So I'd like to keep them somewhere around 30 minutes, if at all possible. And this was going to be at or about that from the way it looks like in editing. So before we get too long-winded in this video, I really appreciate you guys watching this. Hope you're liking this series. Look forward to the conclusion of it as soon as I get parts back, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.